In today's video, I'm going to share with you the 6 different skills that you need to start developing if you want to become rich. And by the end of today's video, you'll know exactly what you need to focus your time on, what you need to go out and spend time building up the skill set of, so you can eventually start to produce income on your own. And I work with a lot of high power CEOs for my business. I've been in masterminds with 7, 8, 9-figure entrepreneurs, and they all seem to have these skills in common. So I personally have made sure to double down on my time in learning these skills so that I can actually produce some of the income that these guys are capable of producing. So let's get straight into it. So the first skill that you should be learning is mastering the ability to persuade. And I could talk on this topic for hours and hours and hours because over the years I've thrown myself in it. But if you become a master persuader, you literally control your own reality. You can ethically move a group of people and get them to take a particular action which you desire for them to take. Master persuaders control the rooms. And in all sort of successful people I've seen, whether it's high power CEOs, whether it's really wealthy people, whether it's people who are exceptionally good at networking, they all are very, very persuasive people. So how do you become a persuasive person? How do you start with this skill? Well, that is a topic which can literally take 10 hours to explain because it's that complex. But what you can do that will give you a head start is look into Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, which talks about how people are persuaded, how people are negatively influenced. You can look at history books to see how people in history have actually used their influence to move a group of people into thinking. You could read sales books as well, all very persuasive tactics to actually get people to move to a particular action. Persuasion is one of these skills that is not talked about enough, but it is literally up there with one of the most important skills you can ever do. It impacts sales, it impacts marketing, it impacts your copywriting, it impacts your ability to communicate to people, the ability to help people decide on things as well. All these other high power skills get encompassed just under this persuasion skill. Make sure you learn persuasion. Number 2, which is kind of associated with persuasion, but it's the ability to close people. So if you've persuaded someone to maybe jump on a sales call with you, if you've persuaded people to become interested in you as well, and you're running a business, you want to learn the ability to close people. Now, closing is a little bit different than persuasion, even though it's associated with it. And the reason why is closing, you must have conviction in yourself. You must have conviction in your product as well. If you're selling a product or a service, you must be able to demonstrate the benefits of what it is you do and align it with the problems the person who you're speaking to is facing. These are skills which you just cannot learn from a book. You must be communicating with people at all times. But here's a great way you can do it, okay? Sell your family or friends on the idea of going to an event. So whether you want to sell your friend on going to a coffee shop, sell your friend on, going out for drinks or something like this, try and pick a person who maybe is going to say no to it, and just practice on trying to change that no to a yes, handling the objection of why they're saying no and changing it to a yes. This is a very easy way for you to increase your negotiation and increase your closing skills. Getting people to commit, family or friends, to something you want to do, which perhaps they don't 100% want to do. Of course, the best way to sell is to sell to people who already want something you're offering. However, that isn't the best way to actually increase your skill set. So increase your skill set by trying to flip no's into yeses. The third skill that you can build that will make you rich is developing the ability to intensely focus on a task. Now, people argue with me here. People will say either you can focus or you can't focus, but believe me, focusing is actually a skill which you can build up, and you can lose it as well. In fact, Cal Newport wrote a book called Deep Work where he talks about how to allocate some deep work time for yourself each day so you can just blitz through tasks. But in that book as well, he said, if you don't utilize and build upon deep work, you eventually start losing it. So if you're constantly checking your phone all the time, if you're constantly checking your emails whilst you're supposed to be doing deep work, you eventually lose the ability to actually concentrate for a prolonged period of time on any given task at hand. And we are moving into an age now where the ability to focus is going to be a superpower. Let me explain. Companies such as social media companies, app companies, your Gmail, they are all hiring scientists to literally keep you addicted to these apps. And they're doing it because the longer you stay on these apps, the more likely you are to click on the adverts they're advertising, which helps them generate revenue. So they are literally incentivized to keep you as distracted as possible. So the person who says no to these and has the ability to concentrate deeply on any given task at hand will be the person who succeeds. If you're honest with yourself, can you literally sit down and concentrate without looking away on a task for more than 30 minutes? Focus is a skill. Make sure you start developing it today. The fourth skill that will make you rich is having the ability to network with people. Now, like the old saying goes, your network is your net worth. And there's a lot of truth to this as well, because the higher status people you hang around with and communicate with, the higher your standards are for yourself. The quicker you will learn if you're hanging around with smart, switched on people. The more cutting edge things you will know. The earlier to new trends you will be if you get good information from higher up, which says you should invest in this business opportunity. You should be pivoting your business to do this right now. It's literally priceless if you get a great network around you. And to build a great network around you, you must learn the ability to be liked by people. There's a great book on this called Never Eat Alone by Keith Ferrazzi, and it's basically a guy who's networked his way across multiple industries, come from nothing, has landed as the CEO of different companies, built his own companies up, built an incredibly powerful network all through networking, getting people to like him, being genuinely interested in them as well. I highly recommend you pick that book up. A network is one of those things that you build before you actually need it. If you wait until you need it and then you go out there to people you don't really know, you haven't done favors for, and just say, look, can you help me with this? They're most likely not going to respond, or they're not going to help you at all. So you build these networks before you need it. And then what they're going to say is they're going to say, hey, you know what? I know that Rob guy, yeah. Sounds like he's struggling with this at the moment. I've got some time, I'll help him, right? Because you've built value with them and they like you as well. Start building your network today and start working on the skill of networking with different people. The fifth skill that will make you rich is having the ability to communicate. This could be public speaking, it could be presenting. And if you can communicate in a way which shows conviction to people, people will start to like you. It's easier to persuade them if you're holding presentations. It's easier to get them to help you whilst also helping them as well. If you can communicate properly with people, you start to become the most liked person in the room. And once you're in that position, you get a lot of favors. So wherever you have the opportunity to communicate with people, you should be putting yourself forward for these opportunities. If your boss comes over and says, can you hold this presentation? Volunteer for it, snatch their hand off, say, I will do it, right? Even if you feel uncomfortable, because there's going to be times in your life where you will need this skill and you want to, again, have it already developed. Having the ability to speak to a camera, having the ability to communicate with high power people will get you into networks. Having the power to communicate your product with a potential client will help you make that sale, will help you be more persuasive, and will help you close that sale. You see how all these skills are tying in together? Make sure you start working on your ability to communicate. And finally, having the ability to control your own mind and build resilience as well. This is such an important one. Any person who's got rich, who hasn't been an overnight success, who hasn't won the lottery, they've usually got a lot of scars on them. Think of boxers throughout the boxing career. By the time they reach champion level, if they ever do, they've usually got some serious war scars. And the same can be taken over to entrepreneurship, having the ability to make money, understanding finance as well. The higher you climb on the ladder here of earning money, getting more wealthy, the more scars you will get. And you must understand that the journey is not easy for most of us. By the time you reach the top compared to the bottom, you will be a completely different person 20 times over, right? You will have reinvented yourself so many times. And the reason why is the person at the bottom of the ladder does not have the same skill set, does not have the same mindset or the same characteristics as the person at the top of the ladder. You know how I know? Because if they did, they would already be at the top of the ladder, right? So you must understand that as you go up, your mindset becomes more resilient. The war scars are going to come. You're going to get the ups and downs. Business is a friggin' jungle out there. You will get burned, but you have to have the ability to adapt, to understand that life can be long and you will always have an extra chance. And your beliefs about yourself and what you are capable of will completely change each rung of the ladder that you go up. And you must embrace this. You will not be the same person on the end as you were at the start. And you must understand, you must not fight this, you must allow this change to take place. So those were the 6 skills that you need if you want to become rich. Having the ability to persuade, having the ability to close, having the ability to focus intensely, having the ability to build a great network that back for you, having the ability to communicate in a way which gets people on your side, and finally, having the ability to control your mindset and embrace the changes which you go through. And if you can start just even developing 1 or 2 or 3 of these skills, you're going to be so much further ahead than the next in line to you. If you manage to master all 6 of them, I don't think there's a person on the earth that's managed to master all 6 of them. But if you do, right, if you get to even 50 to 60% of the way there, you're going to be doing very well for yourself. Hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Rob Lally. I'm an entrepreneur based in the UK, and this channel is all about helping you build a more profitable business in a fun way with efficiency as well. And if you did enjoy this video, please subscribe, please leave a like on the channel as well. Have a great one. Take care.